Shoot your hands up in the air. I'm going to have to repeat them for the benefit of the recording, so shout loud and clear. Let's start at the front row right here. Go on.
Tell us all about Lindsay Anderson and Oh Lucky Man.
All right, the question was, tell us all about Lindsay Anderson and Oh Lucky Man, which I happen to have here, the DVD.
God. What a handsome fella I was then. Well, thank you for asking that question, because Lindsay Anderson, of course, was the first director that cast me in a movie, and in my view, he is one of the geniuses of this age. He was an amazing man, a real curmudgeon. He was tough. He could smell bullshit at 3,000 yards. But he had a tremendous intellect, and he was a poet. I once asked him why he loved John Ford so much. He said, "Malcolm, there are many great directors, very few poets. John Ford was both." So was Lindsay Anderson. A great, great man, a brilliant theater director, as well as being a brilliant film director. And, you know, I made 3 films with him. He only made 5. I made If, Oh Lucky Man, and Britannia Hospital. After If had won the Grand Prize at Cannes, I was a cocky young kid, and I put my arm around him walking down the Croisette, and I went, "Yeah, we're a great team, Linz, let's make another movie." He stopped, his eyes rolled back in his head, and he said, "Where do you think good scripts come from?" He said, "If you want to work with me again, then I suggest you write a good script." And he walked off, and I went, "Fuck you! I will write a script. You wait, I will." And I wrote a very bad script. That's the truth, but it was enough to catch him and to fire him. He was a real auteur. But he didn't write the movies himself. He always got sort of slaves, screenwriters, to write them, who he kicked and bullied and cajoled and got these amazing scripts. The script for If is a wonderful piece of writing and has so many different and extraordinary turns, and it is a very poetic film. And of course, Oh Lucky Man, I wrote the first 45 pages, and I took it over to him, gave it to him, and he said, "Is this supposed to be funny?" I went, "Look, you know, I have a sense of humor. I'm from Liverpool, and I'm from the north of England. You're from the south. You don't even have a sense of humor at all. You know the southern British terribly, you know. A bit like that, you know. They're so fucking superior, aren't they? Fuck 'em. I don't know why I've suddenly got this Navy mouth, but anyway.
Didn't he think he was Scottish?
Hey, he said to me, "Actually, Malcolm, I'm a Scot." And I went, "Yes, when the bill comes at the end of the evening." You're a Scot then, all right.
Tell us about the running time with Oh Lucky Man, because there was quite an interesting
It was about 7 hours long, wasn't it? It's such a dense film, and if you haven't seen it, go get it, because it's a masterpiece. And not because, actually it has nothing to do with me whatsoever, because they changed all my stuff, thank God. Although it is a sort of northern comedy, it starts off that way, and it's a picaresque film that takes its time and meanders through life as it was in England in that period, in the 70s. And it could easily be Canada or the United States. It doesn't really matter. It was a very dense film with some great music by Alan Price, who was one of the Animals, and an incredible cast. But it was long. It was a sort of Candide, you know, and so we were told that unless we cut a certain amount out of the film would not be distributed in the United States. So we were told this by the head of Warner Brothers, Ted Ashley, and so anyway, we went to have a screening to decide what cuts, you know, we should make, and the projectionist made a mistake and jumped. He went from reel 7 to 9. And I'm sitting there going, "Oh my God, what a great cut, you old bastard. You went and cut the movie, and that's fantastic. He went, he was looking for the buttons to push, you know. He goes, don't be ridiculous. I didn't ask for this to be cut. He's dropped a reel. I went, it's perfect. It's karma. Let's get rid of that reel. So it's 10 minutes gone. Alan Price is going, hey, but I'm going to lose a song. I said, you're losing a song? Rachel Roberts has lost her suicide. Anyway, we put it out with 10 minutes. Reel 8 was missing. And it was a few years later, I think 5 or 6 years later, I was in Hollywood doing Time After Time at Warner Brothers on the back lot. And I got a call. I played you for that. I knew you were a friendly crowd with Time After Time. It's a good movie, though. Anyway, it was Lindsay Anderson saying, would I go and watch some reels? He'd had the 8th reel reinserted into the movie. So good for him. The director won out in the end.
Before we go to the next question, I just got to mention, I just saw the weirdest thing. I'm watching this vampire comedy. I don't know if you guys
saw
have seen
Liverpool
it.
won yesterday, didn't you?
No, I didn't see that, but
Oh, fantastic.
a vampire comedy, why not?
Vampire comedy? What's that? Oh, Suck!
And then all of a sudden,
Suck.
all of a sudden, Malcolm McDowell magically gets 30 years younger, and of course, it's from
Oh, Lucky Man. Yes. Thank you to my friends at Warner Brothers who let us have it for free.
All right, this fella right
Otherwise,
here.
they couldn't have done it.
All right, the question is, can you talk about working on Star Trek Generations? Incidentally, William Shatner is here,
Great,
and I'm sure,
great.
is he still upset with you for knocking him off?
Thrilled, isn't he? He's thrilled and delighted because he went off and did Boston Legal, got paid thousands and millions of dollars. So, I love the accent, by the way. I just get straight back into Liverpool, you know, it's great. They played great yesterday, by the way. Dear old Bill. Well, you know, what can I say about killing old Bill? You know, he's a very good sport, and you know, he can laugh at himself if pushed enough. I had a very good time with him, and of course, Patrick, you know, who I'd been at Stratford-on-Avon with in the Royal Shakespeare Company in 1969. And as I said to him, well, you were playing old men even then. But, well, I had a very good time on the film, you know. It was well directed, it was a wonderful part. Dr. Soren, you know, Soren. I've played so many of these damn killers. But he was a very interesting character, and obviously a very intelligent man who had just decided to go that way on the crossroads instead of that way. And, you know, the whole company of Star Trek made me feel very at home, and they were great, all of them. They were a fantastic group of guys, and I'm not surprised. You know, they upheld the traditions of Star Trek, and they kept it all together, and I think it was a really wonderful show, you know, Generations. And so to have killed this man was fun. Of course, as soon as we'd finished, he got one of these tape recorders, and I'm sitting in the desert, you know, and he puts it in here, do you mind if we just talk? I said, well, what about, Bill? He goes, well, I'm doing a book, you know. I went, a book? My God, you're not even cold in the grave. We just finished the scene. And so he goes, okay, first question. What's it like to have killed an American icon? I said, well, Bill, you know, what can I say? Half your audience are going to hate and loathe me, and the other half will be cheering. He said, oh yeah, well, who is going to be cheering? And I went, well, Bill, the people that have had it up to here with you for 30 fucking years. He did laugh. He did laugh.
Who's next? That fella in the middle over there. Yeah, stand.